Hi,
Yay!
Madison.
Hi,
Hi,
Misa.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me just turn on.
Oh, lovely. I have something on too. That's a good start. So thank you so much for being a part of our new show. I'm excited to
Yay.
talk to you today. First off, how are you doing? Like, how is your quarantine?
I mean, believe it or not, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I feel the same.
yeah.
What have your days kind of been
Well,
consisting of?
I get up in the morning. I don't like to, when we're in the season, like we need our days off, like after like
Yeah,
8 hours of like not stopping, and then you kind of maybe want to sleep in a little bit on the weekends. But right now, I feel like I want to be on the schedule. That
yeah.
I want to get up around 8:39 or earlier if the classes are earlier. But I every morning I look forward to taking some of like workout classes or SFB classes by on Zoom or worldwide ballet class or people are always giving classes, so I try to get on it with them and then do it in time so that I feel like I'm part of them.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Have you been doing like more than one ballet class a day?
Well, I try to do one ballet class and one workout class, but
Nice.
yeah, or just do my own, but I try to do at least one ballet class a day, and my day keeps going with other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you are a very hard worker, and at San Francisco Ballet, Boston, you're always doing something, always working to improve. So I'm not
Oh,
surprised.
thank you. I mean, I gotta keep moving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's strange. I this week in particular, I'm trying to be better about like having a more of a schedule. I
Right,
let
right.
myself have some vacation, I think, a little bit mentally too, and now it's like, okay,
Yeah,
let's get back, which helps during this time. It's so strange. So
yeah.
for anyone who's just joining, feel free to send a question and maybe we'll get to some of those later. I'm talking to Misa, of course, and I am Madison. We are both currently dancers with San Francisco Ballet. Um, and yeah, I have a few questions, so we can just get started with some basic ones. Um, why did you start dancing? And how old were you when you started dancing?
Okay, so I was 7 years old when I started taking ballet class. I was a child who had so much energy and never stopped. I mean, I was like,
I'm not surprised to hear that.
and my mom knew that she had to do something about this energy, otherwise it could go good or bad. She
Yeah.
could never tell. So she was like, okay, let's think about something for her to do. She thought of like figure skating or rhythmic gymnastics, and we looked into those too, but then um, nothing was really close enough to our house that we just dropped the idea, and then she got the idea of, okay, maybe she needs to be global, so let's put her in an English class. And then I went to like take English class, like children's
Yeah.
English class, and then right in front of the English class there was a ballet class.
Okay.
There was no ballet class going on when I went there, but I saw the ads, and then I told my mom, I need to do this. I got to do this, and she's like,
Really? And that was
no.
just from seeing like the pictures on the outside?
Yeah, but
Okay.
my friends at kindergarten, they were taking ballet classes, and then I was
Okay.
always kind of eyeing on how they move around, and when there was like a school dance show or something, they look like they know what they're doing, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
You're like, I want to know what to do.
Yeah. So
Because
I was,
is that quite common for young girls, and is it common for boys in Japan to do ballet?
well, it is always girls are always more into ballet, and then if you're a guy, they go through hard time at some
Hmm.
point because other kids will maybe making fun of them or something. So I know that struggle for guys in ballet, but it might be less now. I don't know the youngest generation of Japan right now, but because I'm not a mom, I don't live there. But I think it's getting less and less. But that's how I started. I'd never seen ballet before, and I don't think I've even seen a ballet performance on TV or video or anything. But I just had this like image of like tutu and tiara, and point shoes, and that was why I wanted to start taking ballet.
Amazing. I love that.
Very good.
And so then you trained in Japan until you were how old?
I was, when I left Japan, I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from there, where did you go directly from there? Or I guess what brought you to the United States?
Oh, so Purdue Lausanne was the reason why I came to the United States. And yes, I got the scholarship award to be an apprentice for a year with prestigious ballet companies in the world. And San Francisco Ballet wasn't my first on the list.
Okay.
It was actually my third on the list.
But what was your first?
I think it was Royal Ballet ABT or something like that. Yeah. But they were all taken by the higher score award winner.
Okay.
That I couldn't get to do those two, and then I just somehow put San Francisco Ballet on the third one, not knowing anything about the company. Okay. You know, it wasn't like we had the social media or anything, so that in my generation of dancers, I don't think, unless you are really connected to like, people or the world, you don't really know what the companies are doing.
Yeah, and I think especially at that time, San Francisco Ballet really didn't have any, or even if they did, maybe one video, or like they didn't have much information about their dancers. So I'm not surprised. I don't think most of Japan knew anything about San Francisco Ballet at that time.
So I chose San Francisco Ballet, coming to San Francisco Ballet, seeing the company, and I was really surprised because it wasn't classical. I trained so classically, and I didn't know anything about classical ballet. Okay. That's, most Japanese ballet schools are in Japan when I was younger.
Right. Did you train mainly, was it like a Vaganova type of training? Or
I don't even know what style I could call it.
But classical is what the focus was.
So so I didn't do jazz, I didn't do any contemporary, I didn't do anything but ballet. And then I didn't know anything about balancing either, or any choreographer.
San Francisco Ballet does a lot of balancing.
And choreographers' work, and then I didn't know how to be versatile. So I was really shocked when I saw company class that I had to just step into Christensen studio, and then I am just like frozen. I don't know this place. I don't know this environment. I don't know what to do. And then
that must have been very difficult, because so you were 17, you said?
17, 18, something like that,
Yeah, I mean, it's very young to have all new things.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel, even at that point, did you feel confident in English?
No.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a word of English, like nothing, zero. I could only pick out like ballet words like grand battement, plie, studio, ballet, point shoes. That's all I knew.
I can't imagine. I mean, because I was young when I went to Germany, but I was very fortunate that they worked in English. Mm-hmm. So besides reading a schedule, I was pretty much fine. But I can't, that must have been really quite a shock to like jump into something and just, not have so many new things coming at you.
Yeah. And so, like 18 is pretty young, teenage. It's just, you're sensitive to things, you feel so much about it.
You're trying to figure out who you are as a person and like what these new environments are and cultures and like, wow. So after that year, where did you go?
So, at the end of the season, or I mean towards the end of the season, Helgi told me that he could help me find another place for me to dance. But he didn't think that I was good enough to be working as a corps de ballet. And he was just
which I'll say is just very ironic looking at your path now, but I love hearing the story. Okay, keep going.
But then, like, you know, at that point, I was just like, I lost everything. And I said to him, I think I'm fine. Thank you so much for trying to help me. But I think I can figure my own way. I didn't even know if I wanted to dance anymore, you know, whatever. So I didn't want him to be in a situation to, like, you know, recommend me to somebody and me not being doing well again. So I just
at that point, you were actually questioning if you wanted to keep dancing?
Yeah, I was just lost at that point. Yeah.
I think that's nice to kind of hear and recognize, because you're so dedicated, and even someone like you who has found success, even you've gone through moments in your career or your training or whatnot where you have said, I don't know, what am I doing? So I think that's nice to kind of acknowledge that it's normal to go through those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's common, but also it's good to go through those things, because I found my passion, you know, after all these ups and downs, I mean, series of ups and downs, and then I always come back to dance, you know, like somehow ballet has saved me, saved my life. So I don't know, there's like a strong connection that I feel about dance. And
I love that. Because I think sometimes people are afraid to ask, you know, they just like, oh, of course I'm going to dance. But sometimes by asking and really acknowledging your doubts, you'll come through and find a much stronger love and passion. And you'll say, actually, no, this is what I'm going to do. So, yeah. So from there, where'd you go?
Okay. So I think soon after the meeting with Helgi in his office, I think I went to New York to do open auditions, a bunch of them, and try to stay in the world, stay in. And, oh my gosh, including Boston Ballet.
Okay.
But that didn't come through.
Really?
Yeah, I remember really clearly about my open audition in New York. I took a bar and grabbed back on, okay, done. Center. And then Miko comes around and he pointed out, you. Thank you so much. You can leave now. I was like, oh.
Wow. I did not know that about your story. Okay.
Yeah, so I auditioned for, I don't know, so many companies, and nothing, zero came through.
Wow.
Yes. But then somehow I knew that I didn't want to go back to Japan.
Okay.
I had the strong belief of not being in Japan. And I don't know why, but I'm pretty stubborn. And then I had to follow my instinct. And I said to myself, okay, what am I going to do? If I have a year of not being in the company, my choices are either going back to Japan and dance there somewhere, or go back to school. And I mean, not like academic school, but because I really wanted to dance.
Okay.
So I went to take SAB summer course during the summer, and to just try to learn some balancing technique or, you know, basic stuff. I just wanted to be in that environment to put myself in, so I learned something.
Which was very smart to challenge yourself to learn like a very different, style from what, like a base classical style.
Yeah. Somewhere along the SFB year, apprentice year, somebody told me, okay, Misa, if you want to stay in this country and get a job, then I think you should learn how to dance balancing and how to dance other style, and just keep in your mind. That's what somebody said. And then I remember that, and then I said to myself, okay, maybe then I should go to SAB to really learn the real stuff, you know?
Yeah, there's no better place to learn balancing.
So I went to SAB for the summer, and then at the end of the summer course, I asked Kay Matzo and said to her, like, could I actually stay for the whole year, the winter course? And then she didn't think that was a good idea because I was already too old for the school. But then I begged her to stay because I had nothing else to do. And then I knew that I had to do this. I knew I had to do that. So I tried to convince her, and then she was just, at the end, she was like, okay.
Amazing.
So she let me stay for the year, and then from there, first few months were a struggle for me because all the style is just so different, and I was not open enough to learn even then. But then, one day I woke up and said, I'm going to do this, and I changed everything, and I copied every single person in the studio, even how to tie the ribbons, shoe ribbons. I asked them, like, what to do for everything. And my teachers were Suki Scholler and Suzy Polar. And, sometimes Darcy would come around and, Sean Langley, like all these people, but mainly Suki and Suzy. And I learned so much from Suzy's point work because she was wearing point shoes in class every day.
Right, I've heard that.
Yeah, I just watched her, and then I watched other dancers in class try to copy everything. I tried to take everything in that year, like the last few months.
Yeah.
And then my life changed from there. I think I knew how to adapt from there. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love hearing that because, jumping in when you've been trained one way your whole life, it's drilled in your head that like certain things are right and certain things are wrong. Right. And when you go to somewhere else and they're saying completely different things, it's even if you want to change, sometimes it's hard. You have your old teacher in your head.
Yeah, and you just don't know how to sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I remember at Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet, because I started with a Russian teacher, and they would, at CPYB, they would have balancing classes, and it wasn't to the same extent, but I remember going through that of like, well, no, I can't hold my hands that way, and no, my arms can't be there, but there was like a kind of a breakthrough of, all right, we might as well just try it, right? Yeah. And I think it's in those moments where you kind of let your guard down and try to open up that you learn the most.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic. So after that year, did you then audition again, or?
Yeah. So during SAB year, I did few auditions, and everything came together. Everything came to me. A lot of companies that I was targeting and wanted to be. One was Boston Ballet, one was Birmingham Royal Ballet, and Head National maybe. It was a maybe, but it was an option too. And I was like really close to choose Boston or Birmingham. But then I said to myself, well, I'm already in the United States. And to start all over in the UK is going to be different again, and it's going to be adjusting from, the beginning again. Yeah. And also, do you know Eva Evdokimova?
Don't.
She was this beautiful, amazing ballerina. She used to dance with Nureyev a lot, and she was quite famous in Japan. She came to World Ballet Festival and did lasso feed. Her lasso feed is just beyond this world. Okay. And then I was in love with her as a dancer. Like, I just looked up to her so much. And then when I was auditioning a lot and going to New York, she was teaching in New York as a private teacher. And I did get some coaching session from her a couple times, and just to try to improve my dancing. And I was just in love with her. And then I found out that she was working for Boston Ballet that year.
Oh, wow.
I was auditioning for, a lot of companies. And so when Birmingham and Boston came, I was like, well, Eva's in Boston. I'm going to go to Boston Ballet.
Right, and your idol's in Boston, so there you go.
Life is all set, right? Like, I have a coach, and somebody who I look up to and then respect, and then I want to get coaching from her. That's just perfect. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and then I went to Boston Ballet, and then I went like this. She
Really?
left, and then I joined.
Oh,
So my dream didn't come true in Boston. But
that's so sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. I was like, but I know
But
the reason why I had to be in Boston. So
exactly. I mean, turned out that Boston was a good place for you to grow. At least you made it that way.
Yeah. But Madison, I don't know if you know this, but I was asked to be an apprentice with City Ballet at the end of the SAB year.
Really? That's amazing. I mean, you went from being people saying, no, you're not a balance dancer, you won't be able to do it, to being offered an apprenticeship. That's phenomenal.
And then that was really, the timing was funny because I already signed with Boston, and at the end of the year, they have their school showcase, and then I got to do Peter Martin's Sleeping Beauty, and there's this like padoka, jewel padoka. It's diamond, rubies, and emeralds, and gold or whatever. And I got to do the ruby, and then Peter saw me, and he asked me, would you like to join us? And I said yes. But I heard that you signed with Boston, and I said yes. But if you are willing to be here, I will call Miko. So they talked, and then that was like the longest 1 week that I had to wait.
Oh, I bet.
I really wanted to be in New York. I really wanted to be in New York. And and then they talked, and then I guess they came to a conclusion that, I shouldn't be breaking a contract, and then plus, like, I'll probably be used a lot in Boston, so they talked about it.
So Miko definitely didn't want to let you go.
I don't know, but it's just...
That would be my guess.
It was better for me to be in Boston, because I learned so much in that company. So
yeah, I mean, so that I love hearing that story. That's phenomenal. So then you joined Boston Ballet.
Yes.
I mean, what was that? How many years were you there, actually?
16 years.
So it's a good amount of time. Like your career development there.
Yes, I basically was there the entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably hard to sum up 16 years in 1 or 2 questions. So how did you, when you joined Boston, were you able to kind of do a lot of things right away, or did you mainly just do core work? How was that for you?
Well, I got to be in Boston as a core ballet because I've already done apprenticeship with San Francisco Ballet, and then I went back to school. So Miko gave me core contract, and then my first year I got to do some soloist work and some principal parts, and then it just went, from there, I was always doing principal role as a core ballet dancer. And then in 2006, I did Jackson competition, and I got a gold medal. And then that summer, I was doing gigs and like just packed schedule for a young dancer. I didn't know how to rest, and we had... Boston Ballet had opening night gala. I was supposed to be doing Tchaikovsky pas de deux, and then Don't You. I was giving Kitchery, and I was a really big opportunity, and it broke my foot.
Oh.
Well,
that's so hard. So was that the first time that you were like given a full length and that type of thing for casting?
No, it wasn't my first full length. I don't think, but
it was still a big year. It was a big year for you. Yeah.
Yeah, Don't You was something that I wanted to do so bad as a young dancer, and Nuriyev's Don't You, and I just really wanted to, get that opportunity, but unfortunately.
And was that injury mainly from just like overuse, or did you do something?
Yeah. It was stress fracture from too much point work and not resting enough. And also when you're young, your body's still kind of growing, still adjusting to so many things. And I think my feet were growing too. My bunny was getting bigger. Everything is changing. I don't feel that way anymore, but so I think my feet are adjusting to more of a professional way of working than being as like a apprentice or student. So I think if you're a dancer, you go through 1 or 2 injuries a life, or so,
unless you're extremely lucky, you pretty much will definitely do that.
And then from there, after the injury, sometimes the director has harder time trusting the dancers to be, doing principal roles again. If you're young, and then if you're not the principal, then, it could be hard for the director to trust you. So for like a year and a half, I probably didn't do any principal role, and I was really depressed.
I was going to say that was probably really hard to go from doing a lot, and then you get injured, which is hard in itself. Yeah. And then when you're not doing the same parts.
Yeah. So that was hard, and then I thought about things a lot, but then I, got back to, where I wanted to be. I felt healthy again, and then, strong again, and then things are slowly getting better, and, it's just like constant ups and downs, and but you have to keep pushing for what's best for you, kind of thing. So
absolutely.
I learned a lot through my, early career, and I'm still learning a lot, but
I know it never ends, right?
It never ends. It never ends.
What would you say was like from that time when you were in that maybe year and a half when things felt so different at Boston? I mean, what do you think helped you, or did you just kind of keep going? I don't know. What was your focus, I guess?
Well, so when I was younger in Boston, I was just, trying. I was so lucky. I had so many great experienced older dancers that I could watch, and one of my favorite dancers is Larissa Ponomarenko. She became, after she retired from her dancing career, she became a coach for a ballet mistress for ballet master for Boston Ballet, and I think she changed everybody's life, especially women.
I've heard that from a lot of dancers, that when she joined as a coach, she's a stunning dancer, but that when she joined as a coach, it just helped.
Because she has so much knowledge, and she would just give it to you. She'll give everything that she knows, and without any hesitation. So that was a blessing for me. And then also, but everything she was saying was so natural to me because I watched her dance for 10 years. That image of her dancing was in my head. So every time she explains about let's say the swan lake arm, you have to have a bigger, not just that hand, but you have to have the wings, and you have to have the bigger wrist because it's a bigger animals, and then all that thing.
Oh, I love that.
I could actually picture it in my head easy because I remember her doing it,
That's
and
amazing.
she shows it to me too. So actually, I was just talking to her a few days ago saying how we did the Midsummer Night Dream, right? And I got to do the divertissement pas. I actually watched Larissa. I grew up watching Larissa doing that part. And
really?
I got to actually do it in Boston. She was already retired, but I had the image of her doing it, that I think how I did it was pretty, not copy of her or anything. I never went back to watch her video or anything, but I think that strong image of her lightness and things that she brought to that pas de deux was so stuck in my head in an amazing way that it's just like by watching some amazing dancers could help the younger dancers' career so much, and then I really appreciate that she was the best example of the Boston Ballet.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. And yeah, it makes so much sense that when you have been able to watch this person, then she says something and you're like, oh, that's why it looks like that, is because you're thinking of this.
Yeah.
And oh, I love that connection. I guess that really helped you kind of grow through the challenging time, but then also through the good times, it sounds like.
Yeah. And then like when I was younger, plus that I was watching all the videos of old-time dancers like Kelsey Kirkland and like Natalia Makarova, Vershenikov, Nureyev, Marga Fontaine, all these things, and just to try to learn more, because what do I know, so yeah, I think trying to be open and study and watch other people really help. I understand that San Francisco Ballet is amazing though, because we are not allowed to bring our phones into the studios, and then it forces you to watch other dancers dance. But some other companies, I don't know about like other places, but I know that younger generation could be on their phone while the whole run through is going on. They don't watch the other dancers, how they do it, or even to watch something that you might not even appreciate, but you can still learn so much by watching other people.
Right. Yeah, no, I love hearing you say that, because I definitely see that in you even today after, you have so much success, and you could easily, in my opinion, be like, oh no, I know what I want to do. But you have such a humble approach to your work that you're always open-eyed and looking and learning. And that's such an important lesson, is to kind of take advantage of all of those moments, whether you're just sitting in the back of a long rehearsal, who can you be looking at, or just taking advantage of the technology that we have, the YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, learning that way. I love hearing that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I got to learn a lot in Boston, and it was just being,
yeah, I love that.
10 years, it's great.
So I think that kind of answers my questions with Boston. So I guess, how did, if you don't mind saying, how did it come about that you came to San Francisco Ballet? I mean, I know that, so you came to do our gala.
Yeah. So, it's just really strange timing about everything that, I don't know, I think this was a meant to be move, but also it feels very miracle. Like it's a miracle that I am back here, after so many years not being here. The main reason why I got to be here is meeting Angelo. I was doing Roberto Ballet and Friends in Italy, and then we danced together 1 year for like a month. It was a longer tour when I did this one 2 years ago. And oh gosh, funny thing. So our first pas de deux that we did, it was Genoa, and we did Boston Ballet's Nutcracker pas de deux. And this like press lift, and then he has to like flip me and then catch me. I had 2 hands down on the floor.
Oh no! Was it during a show?
Yeah.
Or rehearsal? During a show.
During the show, the whole audience went like,
oh no!
And that was our first show, Roberto Ballet and Friends. And Roberto came to us and said, "It's okay, guys. Congratulations!" And guess what? This was a private event. I didn't tell you, but they were all bankers, and they're not ballet fans, so you're fine. I'm so sorry, Roberto. We really didn't mean to do that, because we felt so responsible to be putting a good show, and
right, which I'm sure you still did. I mean, mistakes happen and things.
But I think Angelo felt really terrible, and he
Yeah.
apologized to me 1,000 times, and he wanted to rehearse right after the show, and I was just like, Angelo, it's okay. So that was our first meeting, and
Okay.
usually I don't like to get dropped. That's just like my worst thing that I just
Yeah,
feel.
I mean, I think that's understandable. Yeah.
So I would get mad at somebody if somebody dropped me, but somehow with Angelo, I could not get mad at him. And then I was just like laughing. And I don't know, even if it was at the Arena de Verona or War Memorial Opera House, I would still be laughing with Angelo. And he has this kind of personality to make me laugh, and then, everything is okay. So I felt something deep. I felt some deep connection with Angelo, and then I was just like, "That's strange. I'm usually really angry. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Why, but whatever." And then half a year go by after all these, and by the end of Roberto Ball and Friends, we became good partners,
Right. And good friends, I'm sure.
Good friends, and then no hand down on the floor. We did every show consistently. It was great.
Nice.
So it was great, and then half a year go by, and then I really needed Angelo's help for gigs because my partner in Boston got injured. 2 weeks into the shows, lined up gigs for 2 weeks. I needed somebody to fill in those 2 weeks of gigs that I had, 3 gigs or something. Europe, Southeast Asia, and then all that. And then I couldn't. The first person I called was Angelo. But then I think you guys were in DC or New York with some tour.
Okay.
Yeah. So I couldn't get Angelo, and I ended up dancing with somebody else, but then first person that came to my mind was Angelo, and then the same year, something happened to one of my partner for another gig, and then I called Angelo, and that one, Helgi let him go because it was just like 1 or 2 days thing. It was short one, and then his schedule was okay, so we got to dance together, and we were like this. We felt like, okay, this is a amazing, but strange, but crazy connection we have on stage. All right, how can I keep dancing with this guy? I started thinking, he can maybe guest with Boston Ballet. I'm going to talk to Miko, all these things. But then, I knew that Angelo would never join Boston Ballet. So I was like, oh, how can I dance with him? But then I was like, if it happened, it happened. But no, I'm just going to keep gigging with him. That's how I was. And the January came, and then I got a phone call from Helgi saying he lost one female dancer for something that he was thinking of for the gala, and can you please dance? And I was just like, what?
You probably were not thinking of that, given how you started, and
I just was like, yes, I would love to dance with Angelo, but that is so strange, It was just like, why San Francisco? I was thinking that, and that was just amazing, though. And then I got to come to San Francisco and, work with you guys for a few weeks. It was maybe 12 days altogether or something. And I fell in love with the company. And I was hoping to join. And that was just clear. Something inside of me moved. That it wasn't just Angelo. It wasn't just to be dancing with Angelo. I saw everybody's energy, and I felt a huge difference in the temperature and in atmosphere in the studio and on stage. And I was saying to myself, this is what I've been looking for the whole year. I was looking for something else. I'm getting a little bit older, I started to seek for more things. Boston Ballet was great, and then they gave me everything, and I was super happy, nothing to complain. I just needed a little bit more for myself to grow as an artist, grow as a person. And I felt like this place was somewhere that they nurture me for my next step, which is to become a better person. And I felt that San Francisco Ballet dancer and stuff, they are helping me to push that, to become that way, to become a better person. And I just felt it, and I knew it, and then I was like, this is it, and I really want to be here.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I remember just chatting with you briefly when you were there, or here in San Francisco during the gala, and I could just tell how happy and excited you were to be there and curious about everything. And yeah, I think it kind of makes sense. You spent 16 years in Boston, and it doesn't mean that you don't appreciate it and that it didn't give you a lot of things, but it makes sense to try and push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new. And I mean, I know I'm very excited to have you here, because it's amazing to be able to watch you work and get to know you a little bit, and it's very inspiring for me, so I'm very glad that you're here.
Thank you. It's just like, I came to a conclusion of like sharing love is the theme of San Francisco Ballet.
Or I love that.
San Francisco City, I don't know. I just feel that I am learning how to love people, and I feel like I never knew. I felt like I was the fighter. I was always the machine to be putting a good work out there, and then it didn't matter how I behave or how I treat other people. I mean, of course, they probably cared, but I feel like I wasn't aware of it, Mm-hmm. But I felt that when I came here last year in January, I felt something clicked to me that I feel like I feel like I can do it. I feel like people are giving so much love to each other that I feel like I want to be part of this, and then I want to change myself, and then I want to become a better person. More than like becoming a better dancer, I felt like I wanted to become a better person. And then right now I'm feeling, right now I'm alone in the house, but I felt the whole year, I felt the love from everyone, and the exchange of love, helping each other, all kinds of this amazing energy, that I was so fulfilled, and I felt like I made a right decision, and then I feel like I can, I just want to be here, and
I it's so nice everybody.
Yeah, it's like a life-changing experience for me. I mean, it was a life-changing experience to move from East Coast to West Coast, but that's not about it. For me, it was deeper in the soul. Like something had to happen in my these things that this had to happen, and then I feel like everybody was ready to move me and change me. And you guys, like San Francisco Ballet, are just so giving, like so open and warm and big heart and all that just like I feel like I was able to be open to change.
It's so sweet. I mean, I love this company too. I've been back and forth many times, and I keep coming back because of those similar things. There's something about this place and the people that it feels like home to me, at least. Yeah. But it's amazing to hear you say that, and because I often, I look up to you not just as a dancer, but also how you act and treat people with such respect. I've always felt that from you. So it's nice to hear that you also feel the love from the company towards you, because I think we definitely see you giving that love to the company.
I think it's a conversation, right?
Yeah,
like it can't be just one way. It's conversation and giving love to each other, it can't be just one way. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to say, like, I really appreciate everybody.
I love that. I mean, kind of leads me into one of my other questions, which was, at this point in your career, what are some of the things that are on the top of your mind? You are someone that's always working very hard. What are your focuses? What are your top goals to achieve?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm already starting to move towards, I told you that I wanted to become a better person and then all these things, and more than becoming a better dancer. Okay, so I am in my 30s, and or physically, it's not gonna get better and better, after you hit 30. There's gonna be a day that I feel like my body is not gonna be with me, and then I know I'm ready to experience that from now on. So I am trying to get ready to be okay with it, to let go of some of the physical, strength and all that. I mean, I'm still trying to train every day, even with this situation.
Yeah.
But so I'm not saying I'm giving up on my
certainly not.
career or anything like that. But I feel like, I think this time with this coronavirus lockdown situation is making me think a lot what's next for my career. And if I can use my experience as a dancer, that I experienced all these ups and downs and all the love from San Francisco Ballet and dancer stuff and all these people, what can I do to spread this, share my experience as a person.
Yeah.
So I have been thinking a lot. I don't have an answer yet, but I think that will be my next thing. My next goal is to share that love, hopefully, using my social media or whatever tool to, share more love with people. And, I started working on my leotard line and then, thinking a lot about, maybe growing that, making that one as a company, hopefully, maybe soon. Maybe from there, it's not just going to be, I think I have a vision of not just be, making a clothing line. It's just, I want to be able to produce a show or, all kinds of stuff to give back to the arts, art world.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that will be probably my next step. And then to be okay with, not always on top of try to be better every day, to become a dancer, because if you do that, I think you kind of make yourself go crazy with the situation that we're given right now.
Yeah.
So, I've been thinking a lot about.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, do you see yourself? I mean, I know you said you don't have the answers yet, and asking the questions is definitely an important step. Do you ever think about being an artistic director or a teacher, or is it more about creating something of your own, or you don't know?
It's more creating something of my own.
Okay.
Because I don't have a passion to become a teacher. That's something that I never really felt natural to me. Mm-hmm. Even if, somebody passionately talked to me about how I should become a teacher or artistic director, but then I really don't have the passion. And if I don't feel that's right for me, then I can't really push myself,
Yeah.
I feel it in myself that that's not my natural thing or goal. Mm-hmm. So but instead I feel like I can use my experience in a different way. And then, yes, I don't have an answer yet, but I feel like it's definitely not going to be a teacher.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
I also kind of feel similar. I I like coaching and helping a little bit, but I never felt inclined to like teaching.
Teaching,
yeah, I think it takes a specific. Not everyone is made to teach, so that's
I know. And I have a huge respect for people who can teach very well. You know, come up with amazing structure of class or coaching or and then I'm like, how do they do that? And then I love being coached, or I love getting great classes, but I feel like I can't really give the same way as those great people are doing to me. So I feel like, okay, so let's just learn from them, but like that's not my next career. Yeah.
Well, I think, it's good that I'm excited that you're looking into all the things, and I love this focus on love that you have, and I'm sure there will be a path that will come to you that will be like the right way to go about it. So that's exciting for sure. Somehow, I told you, these talks go by fast. Somehow we're almost at an hour.
It's supposed to be 15 minutes.
And you were nervous about 15 minutes. So it's like, I think we've touched on some great things. I think that's most of my questions, but I'd love to see if there's any little questions from the audience. We have someone say, the audience loves you too, Misa. Hope you feel the love when you are on stage.
Oh, I do feel so much love from all the, screams and like applause that they give us, but I just want to tell everyone that, being on stage, being able to get on stage is not just because of me. So many people are involved to do one show with this spotlights. Maybe I'm getting a spotlight if I'm doing a solo or paradu, but that's not about it. This is an art of collaboration with everybody, and you have no idea how many people are involved that you don't see the behind the scene. Even this, facility person in the studio in the building, and people who clean the floor for us, or ballet masters and choreographers and dancers and costume people, makeup, hair person, just like everybody, and then the crew on stage, and the guard of the opera house,
right?
And, all these people together. So, and then I see it now that I see that, we are not able to go anywhere. We're not, we're just so not mobile right now, that what I miss the most is the human connection, to be able to go into the studio that we never thought that was a special thing before. But now if if this lockdown is over tomorrow, and if I can go into the studio and just take class with everybody, how I would appreciate every single second of that.
I think we'd all come in crying. I don't think we would. I think we all we feel grateful for our job, but it's made us realize just how important every person is. And it's so nice to hear you say that, especially, being a principal dancer, and you have no ego, and it's lovely to hear you speak about everyone.
So yes, I cannot wait to be back on stage and create this, beautiful stage with everybody in San Francisco. So I really hope that everybody will come back to watch us on stage, and I hope you will be looking forward to our collaborations of love.
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Oh, well, I love that. I have one more question from someone that says, how do you deal with self-doubt?
Self-doubt. I have that every day.
Me too.
Every second. Well, but then, nobody's made perfect. And if you're perfect, you are probably so bored, So this, I think of it as, how could I make something interesting and fun from such an imperfection? That's what I think of. And then I think if you try to do that, it's so much more fun than trying to make something perfect. I try to have fun with things. And then I think that's something that I learned over the year. And then this is part of me growing up as a person, When we're young, we always want to be perfect and always want to look great. And why is my life not being perfect and all that? We go like this. But I think, sometimes you just have to let go and just have fun and focus on having fun more than like being perfect.
That's a great perspective, because I'm sure to many people watching, you are perfect, and I think there's always a level of you have to be kind to yourself and how you view yourself too, because it's much easier to be hard on ourselves and then see that everyone else is just great. But we all have good things, we all have bad things, we all have things that we work on, but it's those differences that make this art form so beautiful. I'd rather see a vastly diverse group and different dancers than just the same. So those imperfections are what make us all beautiful, I think.
Yeah, and I so agree with you, Madison.
Yeah. Oh, I love
that. Oh, I can't wait to be back in
I know.
studio with you. Oh,
well, God. So we have some few more questions here, but I know that Instagram only lets us do an hour at a time.
Yeah.
And we're running short. So it's been so good. I might just kind of end it on that note.
Yeah, that's nice.
But thank you so much for talking to me.
That was so much fun, and we should do this again.
Yeah, I would love that. And next time we can answer more audience questions.
Yeah, and I can't wait to watch you interview with other people too, to see,
No, this has been great, and I think each conversation, I come and have a few questions, but it's so fun to see like where you and whoever else I'm interviewing takes the conversation. It's just, it's been fascinating because I love. Oh, I'm here. Anyway, it's been fantastic.
And thank you so much for doing this to, spread the love, spread our life, and spread, our information as an artist to the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madison.
Because you have so much amazing experience and so many thoughts, so I'm glad that we were able to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah. Wonderful. Bravo.
No, bravo to you. All right. Thank you so much, Misa. I hope you stay safe and healthy.
Yeah, okay.